La 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 la. Let's get my vocal cords. My vocal cords firing. Not spoken to anybody today. Actually, before I do these live streams, I usually just stand in the room and expostulate to myself. So I guess I could say that I've warmed up on myself. Anyway, yes, Casanovians. Right, boys. Putting this one out there for any guy who's thinking about giving up on dating, because I feel as though in the modern hinterland of the dating space, there's a lot of people who've just thrown in the towel. A lot of people who are giving up, like, oh, what's the point? Men going their own way. There's no point in this anymore. You may as well just sit on your ass and watch Antiques Roadshow whilst your best years zip by you. I was thinking about that the other day. It's actually mad. Like, you know when people are always like, oh, you never get your time back. You know, you can always make more money, but you never get your time back. Like when I actually ruminate and like actually meditate on that, like we never actually get our time back. Like it's such this precious, the most precious commodity. We never get this time back. It's mad. It's like when you actually meditate on that, like we never get the same moment twice. Anyway, for anybody who's given up on dating, what I wanted to do in this live stream was I wanted to share as many stories as possible, real life stories which have come out of my private network, the Entourage, over this summer that I just want to feed into your boys' brains to just give you like insane amounts of optimism and motivation and inspiration that the way you start is not the way that you finish. If you are somebody and you feel as though you're banging your head against a brick wall, you've got a lot of self-limiting beliefs, you're fearing worst case scenarios, you're projecting failure into the future, you are rejecting yourself on the behalf of women, and you've just got to that point in your life where you're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn to. These thoughts, there are guys in my network, the Entourage, who've had these thoughts. And I just wanted to share as many of these stories as possible, and hopefully just help you on your journey in masculine renaissance, because it's not over unless you decide it's over. And even if you have decided it's over, you know, just do one more day, just do one more approach, just listen to one more podcast, one more live stream, because yeah, no, eternity's a long time and we're too long dead to give up, right? So anyway, I'm just going to share stories, as many stories as possible. Let's start off with the most recent. So I was in London recently, and I was coaching a 4-day one-to-one immersion with one of our guys in the Entourage, and it was just one of the best immersions I've ever had. Like so many epiphanovas, so many learnings. The highlight of the immersion was we were in like around central London, and he saw this girl that he wanted to speak with who was in a bookshop, okay? And he saw her, and one of the things that I taught him was, you know, when you're cold approaching, right? When you're cold approaching, it's super easy to just think too many steps ahead. So something that I installed into his mindset was just focus on the open. Yeah, just focus on those first few seconds. Just focus on making that girl feel as beautiful as possible, because you're almost tricking your mind into thinking there's less effort involved. If you're going out to cold approach women and you're thinking that you need to do all of these different steps, I need to open, I need to carry a conversation, I need to build attraction, then I need to go for the close, I need to risk rejection, it's too much for your mind to handle. So just keep things simple. Just focus on the open. Just focus on those first few seconds, and just focus on making that woman feel as beautiful as possible. That's the only mindset you ever need. If you are thinking about giving up on dating and you are struggling, take the emphasis off of yourself. I know that can be difficult if you're ruminating in your own egoic self-absorption, but go from that take mindset to that give mindset, right? The person who has the most cares the least. The more you can go out with that mindset, I'm just going to give to the world today, the better your dating life is going to be. Everyone wants to take. Very few people actually want to give. Like, I'm a giver, right? I am a giver. I just feel at my best when I'm giving to the world. Yeah. So that's just a little side note for you. Anyway, he sees this girl in a bookshop and he says to me, right, Kristian, I'm just going to go and give her a compliment, which I really love. He's like, right, I'm going to go in. I'm just going to give her a compliment. We get into the bookshop and it is deathly quiet, right? Super quiet. Yeah. And he turns to me, he's like, oh, Kristian, like, dude, it's too quiet inside this bookshop. Like, I won't be able to approach it. Like, there's people around. Like, what are people going to think? And I was just like, look, let's just marinate in the moment. Let's just spend this time under tension. An opportunity will arise, because the girl who you wanted to speak with, there was like a couple of other people who were stood next to her. So I was like, just breathe, take your time, marinate in the moment. We're never going to get the same moment twice. And then, as if by divine intervention, the people parted like the Red Sea. The girl was left browsing the books, and then he goes in, he takes the opportunity. They end up having around a 20-minute conversation. At one point in the conversation, the girl actually starts crying because they go like super deep. Like, they're talking about like personal struggles, they're talking about addictions, they're talking about some like really deep shit. And I think you don't get this type of connection on dating apps. You don't get these type of connections in nightclubs. You don't get these type of connections if you just DMing women. Like, this is why I believe that when we cold approach women, we're speaking to their biology rather than their psychology. It's like there's this deeper cosmic connection which happens when you're a man, she's a woman, and it's like you're going over there to declare your desire in a non-needy way and building those deeper connections, actually finding out who this woman is, what are her hopes and dreams, what she's scared of, what she's struggling with, because we're all struggling with something, right? We're all humans. And I think one thing that this whole men's dating industry has destroyed is this humanization element. I think a lot of guys are lost today. I think a lot of guys are thinking about giving up on dating because they think they need to be these paragons of perfection. They think they need to be these stone cold alpha giga chad robots who've got no emotions, who are not struggling with anything. Oh, I'm making gazillion dollars, I've got an 8-pack, I'm driving 7 Bugattis, I've got this luxury lifestyle, I've got 100 Rolexes coming out my ass, I shit money for a living. It's like that's just not how the world is. Right? Like, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up. It's not about being perfect, it's about being progressive and just being able to say to the world, this is me, this is where I'm at, take it or leave it. Yeah, being excited about who we are and even more excited about who we're becoming, right? So they had this deep connection, just stripping back the bullshit, talking about their addictions, their struggles, their personalities. So he was in that conversation about 20 minutes, took a number, came out of that conversation. It's like when one of my guys comes out of a conversation and I know that conversation has completely changed his life, like that one conversation completely shattered any self-limiting beliefs that he had around himself, around cold approach. I was like, dude, that was one of the best approaches I've ever seen. Like, in all my years of coaching, that was one of the best approaches. I've never had a client who's been speaking with a woman in a bookshop for 20 minutes. She ends up crying. They have this super deep conversation. And he comes out of that thinking, oh, well, I wonder if I'm going to see her again. I'm like, dude, of course you're going to see her again. Like, that conversation has literally changed that woman's life, right? That one conversation, it's changed her life because she felt seen, she felt witnessed, she felt understood. Anyway, the two of them met up the day later. They enjoyed a magical evening together. And it's like, it's not even about like that super fast turnaround time. It's not just about, oh yeah, cool, I met a girl in a bookshop and then, we met up the day later. It's like this process of masculine renaissance, of you just showing up in the world unapologetically, speaking your truth, following your bliss, going out with the mindset of changing the fucking world. Can cold approach change the world? Maybe, but it can definitely change someone's world. And I think that's enough. And I think the more worlds that we can change when we're going out there, we don't understand how powerful this process actually is. By you going out there, putting your balls on the line, changing people's lives for a living, you don't know where these positive reverberations are going to ripple. Like, I could go out today, I could compliment a hashtag MILF shake. She feels so beautiful. Maybe for the first time in 20 years, she goes home. Now she's a better mother. Now, because she's a better mother, her children feel more loved. And because her children feel more loved, maybe they do better at school. And because they do better at school, they get better grades. And because they get a better grades, they get into medical school, then they become doctors, and maybe they save people's lives one day, all because you took a moment out of your day just to make their mother feel beautiful. Yeah, no one thinks like this. They just think, oh, woe is me. I'm thinking about giving up on dating. I'm watching too much red pill content. I'm not spending enough time in the real world. Oh, it's over for me. Oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I've got XYZ. We don't actually truly understand our impact or the impact that we could have on this world, right? So that bookshop approach was just epic. And this is somebody who had a lot of self-limiting beliefs around himself, around the city of London, around cold approach, wondering, oh, is this going to work for me? Are the women going to like me? Am I going to be interesting and attractive and flamboyant enough? And it's like, belief follows action. Yeah, belief follows action. And what that approach really demonstrates, I think this is super important for anybody who is thinking about giving up on dating, you are only ever one approach away from your entire life changing. Like, everything can change in one moment. Everything can change in just one action. Yeah, like, you could go out today, you could meet somebody, and that could be the future mother of your children. You could apply for a job today, and that could set you on the path of finally making the income you want to make. Maybe you see a video like this video and it completely alters the trajectory of your life, and you start following my stuff, you start putting yourself out there, you start cold approaching, now you've got a girlfriend, now life feels better. Now you start stripping back those layers of bullshit, and you recognize that this is a process of not learning anything new, but relearning that which we already know. Yeah, you've already got everything inside of you. It's just at the moment, you're so brainwashed, you're so socially conditioned that it's difficult for you to actually see what's true. I think cold approach, it is a process of discovering truth. Yeah. So anyway, bookshop approach, that was great. Met a woman, and then a day later, they enjoyed each other's company. And then he had another one a couple of days later, same guy in question. He saw a woman, London Underground, you know, like where the tube is and stuff. And then he had these self-limiting beliefs in his mind. He's like, oh, I can't approach. Like, we're underground right now. It's a tube. She's probably going to be busy. And he's like, no. Remember what Kristian taught me. Just focus on the first few seconds. Just focus on making that woman's day. Just focus on making her feel beautiful. Forget about the environment, forget about me, forget about all of this nonsense in my mind. All I need to focus on is the open, the first 3 seconds, making that woman feel beautiful. Boys, if you can just understand and internalize this, you don't need to buy any of these bullshit courses that these morons online are selling. Like, get my course, $997, I'll teach you how to game. Dude, I already teach you how to do all this stuff for free. You don't need to buy any fucking courses. You don't need to join some $50 a month school community. I already give away information. I give you everything that you could need. I give away every single thing. Just focus on the first few seconds. Just focus on the open. Just focus on making that woman feel beautiful. He goes over, makes her feel beautiful, delights in the feminine. She lights up, and then the two of them go on another date the day later. So this guy has now got dates coming out of his ass. He's got dates on demand. He's got multiple dates lined up, like within a 2 or 3 day period, all because he took the action, he signed up, he joined the Entourage, he got connected with me, he got connected with the rest of our guys, joined our global network, attending the weekly group coaching calls, and in a relatively short space of time, like just a couple of days, his entire life has changed. His entire dating life has changed. He's now unlocked this decentralized skill set of the awake 1%, where he now knows that he's capable, all right? He's capable of cold approaching. And like I'm always saying to you boys, this goes deeper than day game. When you know you can do this, it bleeds into the rest of your life. It's like, where else am I playing it safe? Where else could I take more bold action? Where else could I elevate? Where else could I evolve? Where else could I dominate? Fitness, fashion, finances. It's all connected, right? It's all connected. And that's what I love about this process, specifically cold approach. You don't have time to be a pussy. You don't have time to give up. You don't have time to complain and criticize. It's like, get out there, put yourself through the social fire, recognize belief follows action, and just focus on those first few seconds. So yeah, within a couple of days, the guy in question comes to London, a city which used to terrify him. Dates on demand, multiple dates in a week, overcoming his self-limiting beliefs. And now he's in a position where, and I said this to him, this is just the start of everything, right? Like the time that we spend together in person, that's just the start. For most coaches, the in-person coaching is the start and the finish, right? Maybe you get results, maybe you don't, and then it's on to the next one. That's not how I operate. Like when someone works with me, when someone invests their money into me, I'm in your corner, right? I am there with you through the ups and the downs, because that's what makes me feel good as a man, right? I've got this people-pleasing mentality. It's rooted in childhood. I won't go into that here, but I've got this innate desire to please people, and I've used that to make my coaching what I believe to be the best, like the best in the world at what I do. I get the best client results in the industry. I change lives for a living. Truly get the best results that this industry has ever seen. Like nobody compete with the results that I get. By the way, if you don't believe me, because evidence has got the loudest voice, right? Evidence has the loudest voice. So just to make sure that you know that I'm not talking out my ass, underneath this video, you can click a link that'll take you to my website and you can see all the testimonials. There's more testimonials on my Instagram page as well, at Casanova Dating. So at Casanova Dating, all the testimonials, link below, more testimonials. There's a lot of charlatans, there's a lot of bozos, there's a lot of morons in this industry who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I've been at this social game now for 15 years. When people come and work with me, they're getting 15 years of social expertise condensed into a short time period. And that's why 4 days with me is worth about 4 years on your own. Anyway, click the link below, find out I'm not trying out my ass. So that's massive optimism there. Like Bookshop approach, London Underground approach, you realize it's not what you say, it's not how you say it, it's who you are when you're saying it. That's the most important thing. Not what you say, it's not how you say it, it's who you are when you're saying it. Cold approach turns you into an absolute weapon, right? Once you become proficient at the skill set, you can do anything. You can finally overcome those self-limiting beliefs, and then she feels that, like when you approach her, she feels that abundance. She feels that action taker aura radiating from you. So now when my entourage members go over to women, they're like, fuck yes, let's go on a date. I want to get with you. So yeah, it's a process. It's a compounding effect, right? It's a compounding effect of all the actions that we're taking. It's forging that identity through the fires of adversity. So that was the recent London experience. Let's talk about more. Let's talk about more case studies, because I just want to keep hitting you boys with some optimism. Let's just fire them off. So when I was in Stockholm recently, one of our guys who joined the entourage about 7 weeks ago, he was definitely in more of a low place in his mind. I think like a lot of boys who were watching this content, he was thinking about giving up. He tried cold approach in the past, but nothing really stuck. And he felt as though he'd hit a wall. So we were starting from very much ground zero. We had a lot of work to do at the start, a lot of self-limiting beliefs to overcome. We had our in-person initially in London, and then he flew out to meet me in different cities across the world. So we met up in Manchester, met up in Amsterdam, and then met up in Stockholm. And then once he met me in Stockholm, it was like seeing a completely different person. This was a guy who not that long ago was starting from ground zero, right? Self-limiting beliefs, didn't think he was going to be able to achieve that much from cold approach, tried cold approach in the past, hadn't got anywhere, so he didn't have the best of relationships with cold approach either, and worked with me, then flew out to meet me in Stockholm. On the day that he landed in Stockholm, we went out for a meal together. So he joined me and some other entourage guys in Stockholm. We finished our meal. We were walking along the promenade, and he sees this smoking hot 6 foot Norwegian girl strutting past, and he's 5'8", right? So any guy who's like, oh, I can't attract tall girls. The guy in question is 5'8". This Norwegian girl is around 6 foot, stunning girl. He goes over to her, big set of balls. He's like, hey, you're beautiful. What are you doing right now? She's like, I'm not doing that much. They go on an instant date there and then. And some of our other entourage guys are winging him in Stockholm. Like, this is the whole point why I created my network, the Entourage, right? Because community, like-minded guys in your corner who can wing you, who you can travel with, who you can connect with, who you can talk about life, business, philosophy, who can go out with you in Stockholm and be your wings for the night. Anyway, takes her to this bar, bounces us to another venue, and then ends up taking her back to his place on that same night. And the two of them enjoy a magical evening together, all from organic attraction, big set of balls. Works with me in London, not in the best of places when we first start, a lot of self-limiting beliefs. I'm just like, dude, come along, do exactly what I say, follow the system, follow the formula, you'll get the results that you want. Again, evidence has got the loudest voice. Meets me out in Stockholm, a completely different prospect, 6 foot Norwegian woman, he's 5'8", pulls her back to his place. Unreal. 10 out of 10 experience, right? Cold approach works as long as you do, right? You're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your struggles. You're going to have those moments where you doubt yourself, where you think you're not good enough, or you're projecting failure into the future. But the whole point of this live stream is to demonstrate to you that the way you start is not the way that you finish. All those self-limiting beliefs that you're currently experiencing, I've worked with so many people now who've been in the exact same position as you. And there's always hope, right? A man without hope is dead. Hope is one of the greatest currencies. And I do think that if you are in that dark place, understand that there are people who've been in a far worse position than you who've made something great out of themselves, right? So 5'8" guy pulls this smoking hot Norwegian girl first day in Stockholm, and the rest of our entourage guys bear witness to this as well. I just think this is cool. I think this is unreal. Like, just going slow, changing lives for a living, and yeah, just taking all my people with me. What other experiences have we got? Actually, one of the standout moments from the summer came in Malaga when I was coaching Shawn. So Shawn, 49-year-old guy, got in contact with me. Shawn's motivation was quite interesting because he on his application, because when you apply to work with me, you fill out a little application form just so I can get an idea of who you are, see if we're actually going to be a good fit working together. Shawn's motivation was interesting. The reason why Shawn got in contact with me was because he wanted to kill the needy bitch inside of him. Right? I think a lot of guys can resonate with this. He's had relationships in the past where he felt as though he'd lost himself in that relationship. He was slacking. He had sacrificed purpose over punani. And he just got to that place where he felt very needy. Yeah, he felt needy. So he wanted to kill the needy bitch inside of him. And he saw cold approach as a perfect way, because there's no hiding when it comes to cold approach. It's you, big set of balls, putting yourself through the social fire and just saying to the world, judge me. Like the Roman poet Virgil once said, blessings on your courage, boy. That's the way to the stars. Acting in spite of fear. Yeah, becoming that version of yourself who is capable of achieving the things that you want. So I fly out to Malaga, coaching Shawn in person. On our first day of working together, starting off, ground zero, this is a completely new world to him. Take him through the process. By the end of the day, he goes inside of a restaurant, right? Inside of a restaurant, number closes, this smoking hot Moroccan girl in front of everybody, comes out of that approach, massive set of balls. He's like, dude, I can't believe that I've just done that. Like, this is day one. We've only known each other for about 3 hours. At the start of the day, absolutely shitting it. At the start of the day, thinking about all the reasons, all the things that could go wrong. By the end of our day, he's number closing a Moroccan girl inside of a restaurant. And it's like, fuck, we've actually made some serious changes here. Like, guys can spend decades of their lives procrastinating, ruminating, fantasizing about doing these sort of things. A couple of hours with me, you start living those fantasies. You start recognizing that your limitations are hallucinations. You recognize that we suffer more in imagination than in reality, and you truly, finally understand belief follows action. If you can take away one thing from this live stream, let it be that belief follows action. You never feel worse for taking action. You never feel worse for doing an approach, even if that approach is shit. Even if you approach a girl and she just completely blanks you, it's funny. Right? Throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. You never feel bad after doing an approach, because it's like the world is watching, God is the witness, right? You show up, you put yourself through the social fire, and you're investing into the identity of the person who you want to embody. That bold, risk-taking pirate, maverick, renegade who goes after what he wants rather than settling for what he thinks he can get. These are examples of what happens with the guys who join our network, the Entourage, right? When you apply to join the Entourage, you're not just getting direct access to me, you're getting direct access to a global network of radically ambitious action takers. The days of being that perpetual lone wolf are well and truly over, right? If I wanted to become a world-class boxer, do you really think that I would try and teach myself by watching YouTube videos? No, if I wanted to become a world-class boxer, I would go to a world-class boxing gym and get trained by world-class boxers. Like, I think, especially for men, we need that healthy male competition. We need that accountability. We need that those guys who can push us, who can guide us, who can support us to become all we can be. Like going out there with no accountability, no feedback, and no brotherhood, especially with cold approach, it's like you don't know what you don't know. Yeah, I've met guys who've been cold approaching way longer than I have. Got to show for it. Maybe they've done like one date in 10 years. And I'm like, dude, you have to take responsibility. I think taking radical responsibility for your own life. If you're not in a position that you want to be right now, like I wasn't in the place that I wanted to be 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was a complete mess. Yeah, I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I was working a job that I hated in a city that I despised. I had £24.82 a universal credit in my bank. I looked like a turnip. I dressed like a moron. I was getting comments on the regular from guys being like, you're ugly, you look physically disadvantaged, you're a 4 out of 10 at best. It was a pandemic, so all I knew was face masks and social distancing. But I knew that nobody else was coming to save me. I knew that if I wanted to make something out of myself, then I needed to dedicate myself to myself. Yeah, having a rational confidence, delusional optimism in my own capabilities. And that's what I want you to start experimenting with as well. Like I can give you all the information, but what you need is implementation. What you need is just to start putting yourself out there. Separate feelings from actions. Oh, I don't feel like doing it today. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't feel like doing it. Just get it done anyway, because belief follows action. All the stories that I've shared from real life people who are enjoying real life experiences with real life women, they're no different to you. Yeah, we all have to go for a shit. Yeah, we all have to do things that we don't want to do. We've all got those self-limiting beliefs, those doubts, those thoughts that keep us awake at night. We all get flooded on social media with the filtered facades and the airbrushed images, a constant bombarding of self-comparisons. It doesn't matter, right? We put all that stuff to one side. We aim to be 1% better every single day. We compete against ourselves. And we understand that there are people in this world who are doing the things that we want to do, and the way that we start is not the way that we finish. So if you want to listen to more of my testimonials, make sure that I'm not talking out my ass, link below, go over to my website, listen to the testimonials. You can go over to my Instagram page as well, at Casanova Dating, just to see the results that I get. I do this for a living. I change lives for a living, and every single day I'm getting better. Every single fucking day. Obsession with progression. So yeah, if you're thinking about giving up on dating, just give it one more day. Do one more approach. Yeah, don't bail on yourself, because what's your other option? You know what I mean? You're going to be one of those doomers online who just cries and complains. Yeah, dude, no one gives a fuck. Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, if you want to be one of those guys who's like, oh, I'm going to go my own way, I'm going to give up on dating. All right, cool. Nice one, bro. Do that. Give up then. Because I think I've got to a place in my life where I only want to help people who want to help themselves. You know, if you've got that place where you're like, oh, it's over for me, oh, woe is me, oh, fine. Fuck you then. Forget about it. Go and play Call of Duty until your best years behind you. I'm making these videos for the action takers, the pirates, the mavericks, the renegades. I'm not saying you need to be the full package right now, far from it, but I just need to know that you've got a desire within yourself to transform. Yeah, if you're disgusted with the person that you become, if you are disgusted with the life that you're living, if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just thinking, how the fuck did we get here? But you've got that desire, you've got that drive, that desire, and that determination to make something truly special in this life. Those are the people I'm speaking with. Those are the people that I put these videos out there for. If you haven't done so already, you can download my free courses. I give away information. I charge for implementation. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, boys. If you have, drop it a like. Just tells me that you enjoy these live streams. I'm making them every single day of the year. So yeah, just show your support. Shower me with some support. Drop the live stream a like. Maybe share it with a friend who also needs to hear this message. But yeah, I love yous. And I will speak with you boys tomorrow. All right. Mwah!